everyone, and welcome to today's video on question 2 on the AQA GCSE English and English language papers. This video will provide you with a full mark sample answer for this question, and if you've had a look at my channel and looked at the lesson for this question, you'll see that in order to get the full marks on this question you need to show the examiner that you clearly understand the text that you've been given. And you can do that by using the format of point, quote, explain in 4 distinct paragraphs. And in your explain part of your paragraph, you need to explain what is suggested by the words that you have given in the quote that you've chosen. So in the lesson we discussed what inference was, and we went through an example. We thought about how the words in that example answered these questions on the screen. We discussed picking out the quotes and explaining in our explanation part of the paragraph what those words meant. And we went through point, quote, explain as a paragraph, and I gave you some sample phrases that you could use in order to answer this question. What do you understand about the difficulties they faced during their expedition? In this extract from Touching the Void, which you can download for free from my website aceyourexams.wordpress.com. So we looked at the paragraph plan for point, quote, explain. Point was answering the question, and we talked about how you could use the phrase firstly, one difficulty they faced, and then answer it. Then you would need to put your quote in using quotation marks, and then you would need to explain the words in the quote that you've given. So we could use phrases like this suggests, this shows, or this demonstrates. And in order to get the full 8 marks on this question, you'd need to do that 4 times in total. So I've written my own answer for this question. There are loads of difficulties that these men faced during their expedition. So if you've got different things in your answer, don't worry. What we're looking at is that we have got 4 distinct paragraphs and they all cover point, quote, explain. So let's have a look at my sample answer. So I start my answer with, firstly, one of the difficulties they faced during the expedition was the extreme weather. So that's one of the difficulties they faced, and I've put that into my own words, and that is my point. They explained that the temperatures were freezing and that it was chilly in the shadows. So that's my quote. So I've used 2 quotes there and I've embedded them in my sentence. They form part of my sentence, and that's slightly more sophisticated than if you just plonked the quote in there without the lead up. Then I say this suggests that they faced extremes of temperatures with unbelievably cold temperatures at night and warmer temperatures during the day when they were in the sun. Now the reason why I've said that is because the word shadows tells us that outside of the shadows where the sun is, perhaps that is warmer. I've also said despite their training, their bodies would still struggle to acclimatise to these highly variable conditions. So the words freezing and then chilly tells us that temperatures do vary. So that's why I've come to the conclusion that the temperatures are highly variable. Then my next paragraph, I said another difficulty they faced was the basic and unreliable cooking facilities. They explained that they had to face the prospect of lighting the stove, which intimates that this task was difficult and possibly time-consuming. The writer uses the word prospect, which suggests that this is an arduous task that he did not look forward to. So what I've done there is I've picked out one word within that quote and I've thought about what that word infers or suggests. And I've thought, oh, if it was a prospect, then it's something that this person wasn't looking forward to. Then I've said, furthermore, he explains that the stove was objecting to being lit due to the dirty petrol. This further suggests that the equipment that they had was unreliable and difficult to use. Okay, so the fact that it's objecting tells us that it was difficult to do, that it wasn't lighting very easily, and that they had dirty petrol. That's not really very good equipment that they've got. They haven't got the equipment that they really need. So what I've done in each of those paragraphs is I've put my own words in my point. So I've answered the question. Then I've put my quote in, and then I've thought about how the words in those quotes answer the question. So I've thought about what they infer or what they suggest. And if you look, I've done 1, 2, 3 and 4. So I've done 4 distinct clear paragraphs. I've shown the examiner that I'm structuring my paragraphs by using the words firstly, another, thirdly and finally. And that just makes it really clear to the examiner that you know that you need to structure your paragraphs in that order. At the bottom, I've obviously colour-coded this answer so that you can see. So you can see exactly where my point is, where my quote is and where my explanation is. This sample answer will be available on my website, aceyourexams.wordpress.com, if you'd like to download that. I've got videos on all of the other questions on the AQA GCSE English and English language exams on my channel. Have a look at those. I've also got full mark sample answer for those too. Take a look on my website. You can download everything for free on there, and you can also follow me on Twitter at AceYourExams. If you have any questions, then please ask them and I will answer them as soon as I can.